Okay, think about this for a second. You're online, browsing, working, whatever. But almost half the traffic around you isn't actually human at all. It's completely automated. Today, we're really plunging into this urgent and fast-moving world of machine identities and, well, bad bots. We're going to explore how AI is shaking up cybersecurity, both as, a serious new threat, but also as a vital defense. We'll be digging into some key reports, mostly Imperva's 2025 Bad Bot Report and CyberArk's 2025 State of Machine Identity Security Report, plus some other insights on identity and access management.
Yeah, and our mission here really is to shine a light on these digital entities you don't usually see, their incredible growth, the kind of surprising risks they bring, and also the really innovative solutions popping up to protect our digital world. We want to help you understand why securing these non-human actors isn't just an IT thing anymore. It's become a major business imperative. Fast.
That's a crucial point. And we're pulling insights not just from Imperva and CyberArk, but also looking at work from Veritas, F5, CrowdStrike, and others. So we should get a pretty well-rounded view of this, frankly, kind of startling new landscape. So how did we even get here? How did the internet sort of quietly change under us to the point where machines are, well, the majority? Because the numbers are genuinely mind-blowing. For the very first time, automated traffic bots now make up 51% of all internet traffic. That's half. More than half, actually. Officially more than human activity. That comes straight from Imperva's 2025 report.
Wild.
It is wild, and what's really fascinating, it's not just a bit more automation. It's a fundamental shift in who, or maybe what, is active online. And beyond just traffic, think about the sheer number of individual actors. Machine identities, the digital credentials for servers, apps, APIs, cloud stuff. They now outnumber human identities by this huge margin. Often, like 40 or 45 non-human identities for every single human one in some places. The average is heading towards 43 to 1 by 2025. The scale is almost, hard to wrap your head around. 43 to 1. That really does put it in perspective. So what's actually driving this explosion?
Well, it's mainly fueled by things like the really fast adoption of cloud-native ways of building things, microservices, architecture, the spread of IoT devices, and critically, AI and modern DevOps practices. These environments are incredibly dynamic. Machine identities can literally just appear and vanish in seconds. They might last minutes, not years. This creates a volume, a speed that, honestly, old security models just weren't designed for. And it's growing fast. Projections show machine identities could grow by up to 50% for like 63% of organizations. And for 16% of organizations, it's even faster at maybe 50 to 150% growth in just the next year.
Wow. Given that, it's no wonder you hear people talking about this dead internet theory. It sounds less like a conspiracy now and more. Well, just a statistical fact about how the web is used, especially when you see stats like Ireland having 71% automated traffic. It's a whole different digital world. So, okay, tons of machine activity online. You might think, great, efficiency. But it's not that simple, is it? These digital things have actually become, maybe surprisingly, a top target for cyber criminals.
Oh, absolutely. What makes them so attractive is they often have privileged access, deep permissions to critical system-sensitive data. And this is key, often with minimal governance or oversight. It's kind of a perfect storm for attackers. In fact, get this, 77% of security leaders admit that every single undiscovered machine identity is a potential way in for attackers, a potential compromise waiting to happen. That's a massive blind spot.
And these aren't just theoretical risks, right? How is this actually hitting businesses? What are the real-world consequences?
Oh, they're very real and often severe. The CyberArk report found that 50% of organizations had security breaches tied to compromised machine identities just in the past year. And the main culprits, things like API keys, those digital passes apps used to talk to each other, and SSL/TLS certificates, the things that verify websites and encrypt connections, both were involved in about 34% of these breaches. They're essential, but if compromised, they give attackers trusted access and the business impact. 51% faced delays launching applications, 44% had outages, 43% dealt with unauthorized access to sensitive data or networks. These are serious disruptions.
Yeah, those outages sound like a recurring nightmare.
They really are. Certificate problems causing outages are particularly common. 72% of organizations had at least one in the last year. And here's a worrying stat. 45% are dealing with weekly disruptions in 2025. That's way up from just 12% back in 2022. And it's likely to get worse because public TLS certificate lifespans. They're expected to shrink down to just 47 days by 2028. That means needing to rotate them 9 times more often than today. It demands a whole new level of management. These are very concrete, frequent, expensive business problems.
Okay, let's talk AI. It's everywhere now, and it's definitely playing a role here. Is it helping us more or helping the attackers more at this point?
It's really both, a classic double-edged sword, and it just highlights why we need better solutions in this whole machine identity space. So on one side, attackers are using AI. They're building more advanced bots that are better at hiding. It also kind of lowers the bar, makes it easier for less skilled people to launch attacks. And think about generative AI. LLMs, they rely on bots scraping huge amounts of internet data, right? That alone can overload your applications and raises big questions about intellectual property.
So AI itself is creating brand new security headaches we need to deal with.
Exactly. But the flip side is AI also gives us incredibly powerful tools for defense. AI-powered identity and access management IAM systems can crunch massive amounts of data, learn normal behavior patterns for humans and machines, and spot anomalies super quickly, flagging potential risks. This allows for smarter things like risk-based authentication, predicting future threats, even automating security decisions. Actually, 81% of security leaders think securing machine identities properly is vital for protecting AI systems themselves from being manipulated or stolen.
It definitely sounds like a constant arms race. And given that dual nature of AI, how it's both a tool and a target, properly assessing the risks it introduces seems absolutely critical for any organization using it, which is exactly why resources focused on AI risk assessment, like www.airiskassess.com, are becoming so important. You really have to understand the specific vulnerabilities AI brings and how to counter them. It's not optional anymore. Okay, so machine identities are exploding, they're being targeted. Why aren't organizations doing more? Is it just too complicated?
Complexity is definitely a huge part of it. The sheer scale, the speed, how temporary they are, it makes managing them incredibly difficult. A major issue the reports point out is just undermanagement and poor visibility. You have that 77% of leaders saying every unknown identity is a risk, but then only 39% have concrete plans to really improve oversight. There's a gap there.
And who's even supposed to be in charge of all these things inside a company? Is ownership clear?
That's another massive headache. With siloed ownership. You'd think the IAM team, right? But they often only manage about 44% of machine identities. Ownership is spread out. Security teams might handle 53%, development teams 28%, platform teams maybe 14%. This fragmentation leads to big inefficiencies, dangerous gaps, and 42% of organizations admit they don't even have a single cohesive strategy for machine identity security. Plus, believe it or not, 34% are still relying on manual processes for managing the lifecycle of these identities. Spreadsheets maybe, it's just not sustainable. Trying to manually track things that pop up and vanish in minutes. Impossible.
That's a scary thought. What about the bigger, maybe further out threats? What's keeping security folks awake at night beyond the immediate fire drills?
Yeah, looking ahead, there are some pretty significant worries. A big one, 71% of leaders fear their main certificate authority could become untrusted. That would cause chaos, widespread trust issues online. And then there's the elephant in the room, quantum computing. While 57% of leaders know will break current cryptography and impact all machine identities, a worrying 30% of organizations admit they're unprepared to even start thinking about moving to quantum-resistant crypto. These aren't just IT issues, they're fundamental business survival problems down the road.
So, faced with this machine identity crisis, as you call it, what's the way forward? What should organizations be doing?
The answer really has to be a unified approach to all identity security. IAM identity and access management is widely seen as critical here. It brings clear benefits, cost savings from automation, scalability to handle the growth, much better security with things like multi-factor authentication, improved productivity and helping meet compliance rules like GDPR or AP.
So it's really about seeing everything, human users, machine identities, as part of one single security picture, not separate problems.
Exactly right. Implementing a zero-trust framework is non-negotiable. Assume nothing is trusted by default, human or machine, inside or outside the network. Verify continuously. We talk about a unified identity governance framework, treat identity as a spectrum, apply consistent risk rules to all, use zero trust everywhere, manage the whole lifecycle. And automation, as sources like Veritas and CrowdStrike emphasize, is absolutely key. You need automation for efficiency and security, making sure certificates get issued, renewed, revoked smoothly without manual errors slipping in.
And as we deal with securing these new kinds of cyber agents, which could be anything from those web scraping bots we mentioned to complex AI agents making decisions, having platforms specifically designed for managing how these agents interact and securing their identities becomes vital. It's worth exploring platforms focused on the secure exchange and management of cyber agents, something like www.cyberagent.exchange. It's really clear, isn't it? A solid, comprehensive strategy for machine identities isn't some niche IT thing anymore. It's fundamental to business survival and success today. Wow, okay, that was quite the deep dive into this sort of hidden world of machines and bots online. The sheer amount of non-human traffic, that exponential growth in machine identities, and the very real risks, breaches, outages, it really is eye-opening.
It absolutely is. It just underscores how much more complex and, frankly, more vulnerable our digital world is than many people realize. The lines blurring between human and machine identities, the speed of it all, it demands a completely new way of thinking about cybersecurity, one that really emphasizes unified governance, lots of automation, and being proactive about threats like AI attacks and, yes, quantum computing down the line.
So what does this mean for you listening? It really means you need to think about identity much more broadly now. It's not just about your login anymore. Every single connected device, every app, every API, every AI system has an identity. And that identity needs securing, monitoring, managing. The scale is huge, but tackling it is key to building safer digital spaces.
Yeah, the bottom line is pretty clear. In this super connected, machine-heavy world, understanding and securing machine identities is just crucial for business resilience, for innovation. Investing in strong identity security today, that's going to directly shape how well an organization can navigate the cyber landscape tomorrow.
What really stands out to you from all this? Think about all those digital things you interact with, seen and unseen. How does this shift more machines than humans online, this focus on non-human identity, change how you view cybersecurity? It's a conversation that's only going to get louder, I think. And a huge thank you to our sponsors, www.airriskassess.com and www.cyberagent.exchange, for supporting this deep dive into the cutting edge of cybersecurity. We will be back soon with another stack of sources to unpack.